All right, CLNS Media, the Garden Report here with Bob Ryan. It's Jeff Goodman, and we are here to officially, I think, yes, bury the Boston Celtics, Robert. And they're dead. They're dead. I mean, what has to happen? I mean, is it all three of the big three for Brooklyn getting hurt for the Celtics to come back and make this series interesting?
So Joe Harris can get 50? I don't know. I mean, yeah, about pretty much at least 2 to 3. And that might be enough. Joe Harris will have to settle for 40. That's the other thing, by the way. I'm just going to start with that. You talk about a perfect acolyte, a perfect pilot fish, right? What did he hit him with the first night? He shot ridiculous. He made that. So, yeah. I mean, the guy keeps doing this every year. He's second. I think he was second in 3 points this year. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Joe Harris, what a perfect compliment. He knows who he is. He does what he does. They allow him to do what he does. They said, and he kills you. Joe Harris. So anyway,
if the Celtics said Joe Harris, think about that.
They thought it was, they went for Fournier, who is turning out to be okay, but and that's fine.
Fournier's solid. I mean, again, he's solid, but we do this every week. We do this every week, but the Celtics are dead and buried for this year. And again, as I tell everybody, with or without Jaylen Brown, I know with Jaylen Brown, people would have been more excited. Maybe, but they hadn't proven they were much better with Jaylen Brown than they are without him. So they didn't stand much of a chance regardless. The big question is, okay, what's next? What do you do? And are people just so frustrated they almost don't care right now about what's next for the Celtics?
This is so monumental, the disgrace that of these games. The second game, the first game, not so much. Everything at halftime. Right. Okay, and the first game gave you a little hope.
Yeah.
Well, but this other game was just and also, from Tatum going from 50 points to 9 for 32.
Yeah,
that's what he is. And then he got poked in the eye, and that's another. He's even? I guess he's going to. From what the odds are, he's going to play. He's going to try to play. We'll see how that goes.
Does he have enough help? I mean, again, without Jaylen Brown, everybody knows who's getting the ball and who's getting the shot.
Kemba, we thought was playing better. You never know with Smart. And in this typical, I love Smart, but I mean, the game's over and he hits those 4 threes in 5 minutes. Do you start thinking, if he can only do that, in the first quarter on game 3 and on home, and but it's probably not going to happen. And
you just want him to get swept at this point? Do you just want it over?
Oh, if they could win a game, that would certainly particularly 3, then you could dream, about something. But I just don't want him to lose by 30 again. That's all. I mean, put up a fight, be respectable. This is, I lived through some down periods with this team, but with this franchise, but not one that had as much legitimate promise, I think, as this one had to fall as low as they seem to are falling right now. But I want it over. I just don't want them humiliated. That's all.
Yeah, and then it just comes down to, okay, Danny Ainge.
But what does happen? I mean, we've talked about.
What do you have to trade? That's the hardest part. Is what do you have? We've gone through this a little bit.
If you're going to hold on to Tatum and Brown, which I think you should, you're 2 all-stars. That's the idea, to accumulate them. I gotta. I don't know what's going on. What was going on with Tatum, unless we have talked over the years that when Brown's not there, they double team and all that. But I don't know. I think you got to be able to find a way to fight your way out of that. No, Smart. What does he bring? We all know how different he is. He's a unique talent, a unique force, a unique circumstance. But how much do people value it? And what team would think he's the man?
Well, we kind of know that, because how different is he from 3 years ago when nobody offered him huge money?
He isn't. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. He is what he is. So Marcus Smart and a first-round pick isn't going to bring you anything that's going to be, earth-shattering. Are you throwing Robert Williams in a trade? It's funny. 3 weeks ago, I said yes. I would throw him in the deal with Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams for Bradley Beal. Now, after watching game 1, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
What we don't know is if in 2 years we're having the same conversation we're having now. Oh, if only he could stay on the floor.
Right. That's
We
the
don't-
word.
Yeah. Now, there's a history of guys in the league who came out of that. They did. You know, who was the first year? Go look it up. People forget this. Maybe I don't know whether it was 2 years, but right away, Patrick Ewing couldn't stay on the floor at first, and there was this very discussion was being held about. We know how good he can be, but are we going to get enough time? And it happened, and he had a great Hall of Fame career.
Could Robert Williams be like a Marcus Camby, who never kind of completely, the switch never stayed, like he was a good player for a lot of years in the NBA.
No, the year they went to the finals in '99, he was terrific.
Right.
He was
But
terrific.
He was so
He was
inconsistent.
just about everything you thought he would be, and for a shining moment,
Right.
you know. But no, yeah, that's a good analogy, and it's a good body analogy, that's for sure. But you know, you'd like it to be better than that too, you know. But I'm excited by him. I'm going to hold on to him as long as I can.
All right. So you want to keep
I want to keep Robert.
Tatum? You want to keep Jalen? You want to keep Robert Williams?
I know
want
what
to
you
keep
want
Marcus
to do.
Smart because you're still a
I'm
proud
willing,
member.
but I'm resigned to the idea that if somebody actually wants to.
So you would do would you dangle Marcus Smart, Aaron Nesmith, and a first-round pick and see what you can get?
Yes. Now, if we're going to go down this way, if this is what the story is, you do have to. And I think Danny's smart enough and his history with him to look at it and realize something fairly drastic. You know, something. Now, even though he's on record as saying, you know, nothing dramatic, I think he was referring to Tatum and Brown, I would think, but I don't think I can be referring to everybody else. Yeah, it's a very annoying discussion. I can tell you that when you.
Well, it also depends on what, if any, superstar.
Yeah.
Is this?
I know the deal you want to make. I know the deal you want to make.
I mean, I do. If he wants out, if Brad Beal wants out, I want the Celtics to make a run at him.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. And I think there's only one way you can get him, and that's Jaylen Brown. I'm not trading Tatum under any circumstance. Zero. Unless you get Luka Doncic. That's the only way I trade Jason Tatum.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm not trading him for anybody else because I think I do think he's going to be an MVP candidate in 2 years. I do. I think he needs more help. I think he needs somebody that you know what? My biggest problem is when I watched Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I honestly feel like they just started playing together yesterday.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
There's just no synergy there. There's no, let me make life easier for you. Let me feed you. And I don't think Jaylen Brown is that anyway. He's not a guy who gets guys easy shots consistently. He can do it at times, but that's not his game. Yeah. Tatum, that's not the priority for him. That's not the best part of his game. I think he's got it in him a whole lot more.
Yeah, we've seen flashes of that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's got it in him. Kemba, same thing. That's not his best attribute. His best attribute is his ability to score.
Putting the ball in the basket, damn right.
Yeah, you just need, I don't know. You need John Stockton or something like that. You need a guy who's going to make people find those guys and get them easy buckets rather than those guys having to take, tough contested shots all the time. But all right, we buried the Celtics, and they may be gone by the time we do this again next week, Bob.
I'll be surprised if we're talking about him
in the current, in the current tense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
I'll be very pleasantly surprised. Let me assure you. But
don't count on it, Bob.
Not holding my breath, as they say.
Do not. And there you have it. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, CLNS Media, The Garden Report. We'll see you next week.
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.